Are we for? Yes, we are. Okay. The Redevelopment Agency meeting of February 4th, 2015 is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV, Cable Channel 2, and are closed captioned for hearing impaired viewers. Please note some customers of Cox Communication who do not have a cable box may view this meeting on digital channel 89.5. The Redevelopment Agency meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, may be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. If alarms should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exits at the back of the chambers out to the mezzanine. Proceed out the double doors to the terrace down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please check with our marshals or fire officials for assistance. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and First Street. Employees wearing safety vests or our city marshals will inform you when it's safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related items on the agenda, citizen participation and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card, which you may complete and submit to the city clerk. Cards are available online, in the clerk's office, or at the rear of these chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If there's anyone present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please come see our city clerk staff up front. If you parked in the garage across the street and did not receive a validation ticket as you entered our chambers, please exit to your right and see the security personnel at the entrance. We'll move on to agenda item number 3. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed will be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please now come to the podium and state your name for the record. We'll set the time at 1 minute. You look like you're ready to come forward. You're not coming forward. Okay. Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item 4. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular redevelopment agency meetings of December 3rd and December 17th, 2014. May I have a motion to approve those minutes, please?
Move for approval.
Thank you very much. There's a motion, and please vote. And please post. That motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 5, RA1-2015, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the proposed sale of real property by the Disposition and Development Agreement, DDA, between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, and the LV Land Company, LLC, buyer for parcels located at 500 South Las Vegas Boulevard and 408 East Clark Avenue for the purchase price of $800,000 to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan and authorizing the execution of the DDA by the RDA redevelopment area. This is in Ward 3 with Councilman Coffin. Note this item is related to Council Item 27R-3-2015. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor, members of the City Council and Agency Board. For the record, Bill Arndt, Director, Economic and Urban Development. Before I present the project, I would like to state for the record some modifications which are Scribner errors in some of the exhibits regarding some of the addresses and notations on the property. The document is essentially correct, but there's some inconsistencies, so I'm going to take a moment to read those into the record. I don't believe it changes what we're discussing today as far as the nature of the business transaction.
Do we have to vote on those to approve the changes?
To incorporate these changes,
yes.
And they're all in the exhibits, not the body of the agreement.
Great.
So,
thank you.
Exhibit A is a legal description. It references two parcels owned by the Redevelopment Agency. The first parcel, the address states 501 S 4th Street, and I would like that changed to 408 East Clark Avenue. Exhibit B to disposition and development agreement, I would like that modified. It lists two parcels, which are the private lands for this transaction. The second parcel number is incorrect. The parcel number currently reads 139-34-311-151. I would like that to read instead 139-34-311-153. Exhibit A to Exhibit G, which is to disposition and development agreement, reads at the first parcel 501 S 4th Street, and I would like that to read instead 408 East Clark Avenue. And finally, Exhibit H to disposition and development agreement, attached page numerette number 9, Roman numeral 9, reads 501 S 4th Street, and I would like that instead to read 408 East Clark Avenue. With that, I'd like to explain what we're doing with the project today. So this is
just, if I may interrupt you, Mr. Arndt, you have given those to the city clerk in writing because I couldn't write fast enough.
I will. I have handwritten notes, and I'll give them today and follow up with something typewritten for them.
Thank you.
This agreement before you is really what redevelopment is all about. We've owned some land in the core of our downtown in the office district and have acquired that land for the purpose of redeveloping it for a higher and better use, which is really a fancy way of saying turning a vacant lot into something that could be new and special for our downtown. The site in particular is near 4th and Clark, and it's just immediately south of our 5th Street School. We have a great partner in LV Land Company, which is an affiliate of EHB. Frank Pankratz, the CEO, is with us this morning. Others of his team are with us as well, and I'm going to invite him to the dais in just a minute. But they have a fine reputation in town, as we all know, of building quality developments throughout the town, most recently Tivoli Village in Ward 2, and also completed a retail shopping center near Sahara and Hualapai. And so we know that they do a fine job in building a quality project, and they have interest in building a new project in downtown, a new Class A office building. And Class A is really just the commercial real estate world of saying the best of the best. It's the best as far as the finish level, which would accommodate the best office tenants that we have in Southern Nevada. So they want to build a 63,000 square foot office building, a minimum. It likely could be a lot bigger depending on how leasing goes, and Mr. Pankratz can address that. They're going to do on-site structured parking, a parking garage or garages to accommodate all the tenants. They have the option of doing retail on the ground floor. The site is a little compact, as I'll describe in a minute, but they have the option of doing retail, and that fits with our downtown centennial plan. The project has had to overcome some hurdles, and when I said this is really the epitome of redevelopment, the reason why a lot of our land in downtown has not been developed privately without our involvement is because of these kinds of hurdles. In other words, building in a downtown is more difficult than building in the suburbs. And so the project's had to overcome at least 3 hurdles. One is there's been some land which we owned for the project site, but some land which we did not own. And those privately owned pieces we were unable to acquire through our redevelopment agency because the cost was too high. There was also utilities running through an alley that divides the site, as I'll show on a map. And then finally, having to build parking garages instead of allowing your customers to park on surface parking like you see office buildings around the Beltway and in the suburbs, there's a cost to that. And so all these are hurdles that our partners had to overcome. This is the actual project site. The land that is highlighted here and shaded in yellow is land that the redevelopment agency owns, and we've acquired that. The land in the red was privately owned by 2 different private owners, and our partner, LV Land Company, was able to acquire that but at a significant cost and arguably at a significant premium over what fair market value was. So given all that, here's the deal. We've come up with terms which we think are beneficial to the city and also our partner to allow them to move forward. Our partner, LV Land, is going to be funding 100% of the cost of the private land, those parcels in red, the office building, all the vertical development, all the on-site and off-site utilities to support that, and the on-site parking, the parking garage. And if I could jump back to the prior slide, if you can see just immediately to the right or to the east-southeast of our parking lot, which we're now using as overflow parking for the Fifth Street School, that alleyway, and I should have highlighted it on the map here, that alley has a lot of utilities in it, including a significant gas line, and it's extremely difficult to move. The city could move it to ready the site for development, but it would likely be 7 figures to do that, and we don't want to incur that cash up front. Our partner has the option of either moving it or building around it. They're most likely going to build around it, as Mr. Pankratz can explain. But given all that, we negotiated a sale price of $800,000 for our land, the land in the yellow, which is our 2 parcels. And that land price was determined from a couple of factors. One is, what is everything that our development partner has to do on their nickel, their expense, that we do not have to do? And then second, given what they paid for their parcels on a blended purchase price per square foot, what is a fair price that allows them to pay at or close to market value and still build the project? And so we came up with a purchase price of $800,000. That equates to roughly $53 per square foot of land. Land prices in downtown as far as market is really hard to define with precision, but we've seen comparable sales range from as low as $23 per square foot to as high as in excess of $100 per square foot, and our partner had to spend over $100 per square foot for those parcels in the red. To give you another example, our partner, SDA Inc., Steve Biagiotti, on the Federal Justice Tower, we negotiated a sale at market of $68 per square foot. Mr. Biagiotti did not have to acquire any private land for that project. He did not have to relocate any utilities for that project. So it's close to what we sold our property for on the other side of the boulevard, which didn't have some of the issues, at least with the utilities and the out parcels that our partner here has had to deal with. What is the value that we're giving up? The appraisal that we had on record was higher than this. We had our high appraisal of $3.3 million. We believe that the value is probably lower than that. We believe that the range is somewhere between $20 and $100 per square foot. And again, the blended purchase price is $53 per square foot. We did establish as part of the record 3 different ways of how we could derive value, but we think that the price that we ended up with is a very fair price for the agency, and I'll explain why. We acquired the land some time ago, and our cash out, if you will, to acquire the land in yellow was this number on the slide here, a little over $1.2 million. So in other words, if this transaction moves forward, we will be booking a loss on our financials of over $400,000. What are we getting in return? We are getting a large project. We're going to get a 63,000 plus square foot office building. We're not have to put any dollars into that development, and we're going to get new Class A tenants in downtown or help existing tenants expand in downtown. We're going to get a great new building. Mr. Pankratz can explain the value of that, but based on our conservative projections, we'll recoup that book loss in 2 years or less through future property taxes, tax increment revenue that comes into the agency. So one of the ways of looking at it, answering the question, is it a good deal or a fair deal for the city and the redevelopment agency, is what is our payback? And even in the private sector, if you can get a return on your capital and break even in 2 years, you're really happy. That is an excellent project, and we believe it's an excellent deal for the redevelopment agency. Given our investment and given that we are booking a loss, we are requiring our partner to pay prevailing wages for the construction. And this is what we've done on a lot of our other large projects downtown, World Market Center, the Mulaski Center, Smith Center, and others. So there will be prevailing wages on construction. Our partner also will have to follow our redevelopment agency employment plan so that others can benefit on the project. In sum, what is the benefit to the community? It's continuing our strategy of getting Class A office downtown. We've supported the Mulaski Corporate Center. We've supported the City Center building at 4th and Lewis. We supported the Lloyd George Federal Courthouse. We are supporting the Federal Justice Tower. We're doing this for a reason. People want to be downtown. It's a wonderful thing to say it out loud, right? People and companies want to be downtown. Our vacancy rates for office, particularly Class A office, are the lowest in the Las Vegas Valley, and they have been for some time. There is a demand for this product. We believe that it's the right product for downtown. We believe we have a really solid partner in LV Land Company, and the bottom line is for a very small investment, we're getting a large return. With that, I'd like to invite Frank Pankratz and his team up to the dais to say a few words about their vision for the project.
Thank you very much, and good morning.
Good morning. Excuse me. Jay Brown, 520 South 4th Street, representing LV Land Company, LLC. With me is one of the company's principals, as you heard from Mr. Arndt, Frank Pankratz. As usual, Mr. Arndt has covered about everything. Okay. We've been working very hard on this project with both staff and the neighboring property owners for about 3 years now. And the staff in particular has worked hard, and of course, including Mr. Arndt. We're just asking you today to follow a recommendation of staff and help bring this project to fruition. And Mr. Pankratz, myself, will be happy to answer any questions that anybody may have.
Thank you, and good morning. Any questions from the council?
I just have a comment.
Yes, please. Councilman Ross?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to express to the council, we could not have a better developer in downtown than this group right here. Mr. Brown, your clients have done fabulous work in the city of Las Vegas, in this valley, and I'm really excited for what you guys are going to produce on those parcels. And I know we've had this conversation several years ago about the challenges right there. So congratulations, we're finally there to make it a reality. So Mr. Pankratz, nice to have you downtown.
Thank you.
And I just would ask, what's the timeline on this, please?
We're going to, my name is Frank Pankratz, 9755 West Charleston. We're going to move as fast as possible. We've got some period of time once we get the DDA to do our leasing, and that drives everything else, financing and design and so forth. And so as provided in the DDA, the anticipation is that by fall of 16 we should be under construction.
Wonderful. Great. Any comments, questions, Councilman?
Madam Mayor, is there a copy or just an idea of a rendering of what it will look like?
We've done a number of them, depending on the size of the building.
Okay.
And that's going to be predicated again on our leasing ability and activities that will be forthcoming in the
Well, I
ensuing
just
months.
wanted to add that I'm very pleased also that someone who has built buildings of such quality in other places is coming downtown. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Great. Okay, Councilman Coffin, the baby's yours.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess you did us a favor. We had this land we couldn't buy, we couldn't aggregate together. We wanted to try, our staff have tried for a long time. So is that what raised the price of the land, and in essence making it look like we're selling it cheaper than what we paid for it? But in fact, is that really what happened? You had to pay more?
Councilman, I think that's correct, that if we were able to acquire the land at a lower cost, or our partner was, the land being those parcels in the red, those privately held parcels, then our sale price would have been higher. We had tried for several years. We were told even a much higher price than what our partner was able to acquire it at. But this is where the sum is, the parts is more than each individual part, that we can't get a project to this scale without aggregating, as you say, these parcels. And there's real value in aggregating them, combining them for one site so we can get this quality project. Because if we don't, then we're not going to be able to get a large office building with parking on site And that's one of the reasons why this is sat fallow for so long.
Okay, so we'll be able to start collecting property tax on this property then, and hopefully at an increasing value.
Correct, and that's an important point to mention. Our partner has not asked for any incentive on the tax side. Every new tax dollar through the tax increment comes back into the agency, 100%.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. Mayor, I'll be happy to move for approval.
Please. Okay, there's a motion. Please vote and please post. Unanimous.
Thank you.
We're delighted.
Very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to
Yes.
just add one point to what Councilwoman Tarkanian said. During the site plan process, this is going to come back to you, so you're going to have another bite at the apple, at least one, to take a look at before you go forward anyway. Thank you
No,
again.
we love everything you do, so this is great. Very exciting. Thank you. Okay, agenda item number 6, citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the redevelopment agency. No subject may be acted upon by the redevelopment agency unless that subject is on the agenda scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium. Give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Mayor and distinguished council. My name is Catherine Duncan. I was recently appointed chair of the Universal Peace Federation. The Universal Peace Federation is a non-governmental organization in general consultative status with the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. The United Nations established this week, February 1st through 7th, as World Interfaith Harmony Week. And we just had a beautiful ceremony on the steps of City Hall this morning where spiritual leaders came together this morning and prayed for love, forgiveness, and unity. And my role as chairwoman of the Universal Peace Federation is to make sure that Las Vegas leads the world in interracial, interfaith, intercultural, and international unity. So I brought some brochures from our organization to give to each of you this morning, and I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Ms. Duncan. Appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to come forward? Please do so. Okay, hearing none, we will move on to agenda item 7. Is there any member of the redevelopment agency who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda? Any other comments? Hearing none, this redevelopment agency is adjourned, and we have to wait because it's posted to start at 9 o'clock.